Coming up on this edition of Hawkeye News.
Farewell to the class of 2007, that magical day that every student looks forward to with great anticipation, graduation day. Seniors are getting ready to move on to the next chapter of their lives, but before they do, Hawkeye News has some important information graduates need to know. News students can use coming up.
Plus, as the days become longer and the nights shorter with daylight savings time, many students need as much daylight as they can to take care of the many activities, banquets, and school assignments this time of year. Our counselor's office is back to remind us it's time for underclassmen to get ready for next year. A new counselor's corner later in our show.
Also, Red Oak ISD was pleased to partner with Lockheed Martin to sponsor their first iInvent program. Red Oak teacher David Flanagan coordinated the invention process as Red Oak 8th graders worked on their projects from initial concept through prototype development and test making. See more in this exclusive report coming up.
In addition, we have a special report from Eastridge Elementary called Watchdogs, Dads of Great Students. You may remember a brief report earlier in the year, but now Hawkeye News brings you this inside look in an innovative program focusing on prevention of violence in our children's schools by using the positive influence of fathers.
And finally, Hawkeye News Crime Report Leslie Rangel is back with an in-depth report on the highly addictive, illegal, and deadly new drug called cheese, a mixture of heroin and Tylenol PM, how to spot this drug and where students are hiding it at school, and the crime-fighting investigative report. All coming up on this edition of Hawkeye News.
You're watching Hawkeye News with Katie Stanglin, Brandon Scott, Sports with Curtis Kelsey, plus Leslie Rangel with our crime-fighting reports, and more news coverage with our Hawkeye News Junior High team. Also, What's Up at the WC with Lexi Belote. Plus, academic and student life reports with our Hawkeye News team. Hawkeye News.
Leadership
you can depend on.
Hawkeye News starts now.
Welcome to this edition of Hawkeye News for April 2007. I'm Katie Stanglin.
And I'm Brandon Scott. With spring break far behind us and graduation getting very close, it's crunch time for all Red Oak High students, as we have to work hard to keep our academic goals in focus for the remainder of the year. Before we get started with this month's news, we want to take a moment to send our thoughts and prayers to the students and families of Virginia Tech.
With prom and so many other warm weather events coming up, it can be hard to think of homework and studying. Many of us have been busy with this past month's activities and school. This month, we take a look back at April and a look ahead at the remainder of the year. But first, we go to Hawkeye News reporter Catherine Martinez, who is standing by with a look at what's to come later in our show.
Catherine has been covering the 2007 Red Oak ISD bond election since its announcement. Catherine?
Thanks, Katie and Brandon. Again, we cannot report this enough. Election Day is May 12th, and voters should know that there is a comprehensive look at the details surrounding the bond proposal on our website at www.hawkeye-news.com. Click on the bond election banner on the home page to learn more. Coming up later, we discuss the third and final component of the bond proposal, district maintenance and renovation projects. This area of the bond will address the immediate and preventative maintenance needs of all the campuses. That and much more coming up later, but first, this month's top stories.